Hey boys and girls, I am going to be talking today about decomposing fractions and this convince me that you just tried to solve on the bottom of 472. So I have it here on my screen. It says draw pictures or use fraction strips to show why these equations are true. So it has 5/6 equals 3/6 plus 2/6 and 5/6 equals 1/6 plus 2/6 plus 2/6. So here is the fun that we have today, and that fun is decomposing. That big word, decompose. We talked about decompose before, but it's been a long time, and we didn't use that word when we were thinking about fractions. It was for our place value unit. So when we think about this word decompose, what I am doing is I'm taking my fraction that I have. Here's my one fraction, right? Numerator, denominator, so it looks like this. And I am breaking it apart, okay? When I say decompose, I mean break it apart. So for example, now this one doesn't have to do with the convince me, but for example, if I had like 3 tenths. If I had 3 tenths and I wanted to break that apart, I'm thinking of splitting my numerator. So 3 tenths is the same as 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10. Do you guys agree with that? So if I were to add all those up, it would equal 3 tenths, okay? But if I still continue with that 3 tenths, I could also say that 3 tenths is the same as 1/10 plus 2 tenths. So you see how I broke apart my numerator, the number on top. I broke it apart and split it into smaller pieces, even smaller pieces. So for the first one, I split it into all unit fractions where the numerator is always 1. And then the second one, I did it a bit different. I had 1 unit fraction, 1/10, and then I had 2 tenths. Both of them together still equal 3 tenths. They are the same. If I were to draw a picture of tenths, it would be the same amount shaded in, okay? Let's try that with the 6 that we have, okay? So for this problem, it's so hard to draw with the online, my mouse pad, but I'll give it my best shot, okay, guys? And you could also use the online tools I attached if you wanted to do that so you could see it better. And I have 6, so I think I'm going to split this into thirds, as best as I can do. And then I'm just going to split that in half, just like that, okay? Now, when I'm comparing two separate ones, I got to try to do 2 rectangles that are the same size. I'll do a good eyeball here of trying to get that as equal as I can. If you think about the pizzas that we've learned about so much, like I can't compare a small pizza to a large pizza. It doesn't work. All right, so let's figure this out. So the first one says 3/6 plus 2/6 equals 5/6. So I'm going to shade in. Here's 3/6. And let's do 2/6. So if I count those up, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That equals 5/6. All right, let's try the other one. I have 1/6. I have 2/6. 1, 2. And then I have, let's do red, another 2/6. So if I look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It also equals 5/6. So those are the same. I decomposed 5/6 in 2 different ways. Isn't that interesting? Honestly, you can keep going. You can keep decomposing 5/6 into many different ways because it doesn't matter how you decompose. One thing that I do want you to think about, though, is those unit fractions. So when I say 5/6, that is not a unit fraction. That's just a regular old fraction. The numerator is 5. The denominator is 6. When I say unit fraction, that means my numerator is 1. So 1/6. So if I wanted to decompose 5/6 only using unit fractions, that means I'd have 5/6 equals 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6. If I add that all up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I still have 5/6. But I only used unit fractions. My unit, I have one of them. That's my numerator. All right, so that's where I think I'm going to leave you here. And you guys are going to head on down to the next step, which is a vocabulary review. You guys are going to review the term numerator, denominator, as well as decompose, okay? So we're going to think about that word of breaking things apart, breaking fractions apart, and you guys are going to practice breaking fractions apart today, okay? So I will see you in the next step. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and I'll see you there.